Andy, can you sack a headmaster? Is that possible?
Daz, you're going to be on the naughty step in a minute, so steady.
He looks like Blofeld. He got a cat there.
Right, okay. Evening, guys. We'll crack straight on because I'm conscious we will run out of minutes on tonight's webinar. Firstly, all of you, thank you for attending tonight. Much appreciated. My name's Andy Bev. I'm going to introduce Matt Tunley, who's our co-host. Evening, Matt.
Evening.
Okay, Matt's going to be in charge of the housekeeping as he's the headmaster amongst all of us. Okay, so he's going to be, if you could all mute your own laptops, please, and obviously keep your screens on if you want to, or whichever. No, I'm not really bothered. I'm not going to look at you greatly. I'm going to crack on straight away because it is quite a bit that I want to get through tonight. Okay, so what we will do is how it's going to work tonight. In the chat room, please feel free to post any questions. Matt will monitor them as we're going along. I won't answer any as we're going along because I want the webinar to come out as we want it to upload. And then what we'll do is Matt will, if we've got time at the end of this Zoom meeting, because potentially it could last just the 40 minutes, we'll go through some of the questions then at the end. And Matt will answer them as he goes along as well, if he can do. And what we will try and do then at the end, if we've run out of time and we haven't got the questions, we'll probably take a 15-minute break. And then I'll send out another invitation and we'll do another Zoom where you can ask all the questions that you might have. Likewise, my email and phone number will be on at the end so you can ask them as well. Okay, so, and listen, please ask any questions. There is no stupid questions. Seriously, I mean, we've got James in the meeting, so he will probably ask the most stupid question and he knows the answers, so don't worry about that. What we'll do is, guys, I'm going to share my screen now so we can crack straight on with it, okay? And
are you aware the chat's disabled?
Yes, please. You could do that, Matt. You got him?
Yeah, just still admitting people in a minute.
Okay. Okay, so we'll crack straight on. What we're going to start with is basically give you a little intro of what we're going to do. I just want to put a clock on me so I don't overdo it. Okay, that's roughly what we're going to cover tonight. So a little bit like last season, touching on that, the 3-year vision that I have, how we're going to do it, the links and the possible pathways that we've got, the difference of what we're going to try and do and what we've done, and the training game schedule, etc. Okay, so firstly, first time I've got to, obviously I can't see you at the moment because I've got my screen sharing on, but I want to apologise for the way that it ended at Hereford, and I am deeply annoyed as much as you guys are, trust me, in terms of the way it was given to you. When we closed the academy on the Monday, just before lockdown, I was let go on the Wednesday by a telephone call, and then was told to have no contact till it was announced. So that was quite disappointing myself, hence why I put the email out to you all immediately after that it went out publicly. I thought it was going to be put to you individually as I'd asked, but unfortunately it didn't. But touching on that, don't want to go over old ground. Was it a success in our first season? I think it was fantastic. You know, when you look at the fact that we went from 17s to 15, we went from 130 players to 219 when we closed. We had a record-breaking Youth Cup run. We had, which was the remit when I came in on the 5-year vision, which only lasted 8 months. Hopefully this will last longer, was to try and get 18s and bridge that gap. We managed to get them training with the first team. We got them in the first team match day squad. We even had players actually on the bench on match days, and Rob Whitlock nearly getting on in the kiddie game on New Year's Day, but much to me nagging Russ to get him on, but it didn't quite happen. We got links with Cat 1 Academy clubs. We played at Cat 2 clubs and 3 as well. Hosted Swansea at Edgar Street with our 18s and actually beaten them, which was great. And that's why this was, to me, such a push to try and keep something post-16s going, because I know the potential is there. And I don't think you've had a fair crack at it by any means of the shape or form yet. And that's not going against your coaches or anything like that. That's just my personal opinion. We newly got the scholarship program as well in the year. And also, if you look at it, we had 5 players go to professional academies, and we had one from the under-16s go to a Cat 3 club. And when you do that at 16, that's a massive decision for any Cat 3 club today, because they've got to offer them a 2-year scholarship and in a very limited time. So that was great. And obviously not forgetting the tragic loss of Joycey through the year that we coped with as well. And, you know, we're never forgetting that. So I'm going to just have to push all your screens because you're all over my... That's better. Okay. How can we get the opportunities to get you guys playing at young ages, playing in Step 5? I look at the time when I managed Westfields at Step 5 and we played teams, you know, from higher league graded, etc. And we had boys from Hereford. Would they have got into our Westfield Step 5 team? No, they wouldn't. Would they have last year? Potentially 1 or 2 could have been in the squad. Okay. So my vision is to succeed, as I believe we have the boys needs to be challenged against men, and doing that at under 21 level gives us that option, as first team players or senior players can play in this league. So 3 are permitted above the age of 21. The 3-year vision for me, so an under 18 now can do this program for another 3 years, you know, albeit I know they'll go to uni, whatever plans they'll have, and I don't want them to stop doing that, but there is that potential with an under 21 program to continue doing so. Also, like, I know there's a couple of you post 18-year-olds in here tonight, you can still do this. This will put you in a bigger shop window than you will be playing in if you just play in your normal semi-pro club. And the reason I say that is this under 21 league is at step 5 level. Okay, so you will be playing, this Kidderminster Harrows have got a team in there, but you will be playing against teams, and they'll know who we are and what we're doing, that we will have majority of young kids in there at potentially 18, 19 years old maximum on the under 21 league. So you will be in that shop window all the time. And it's a great system because it also gives lads that at a Cat 3 club, Cat 2 club that are getting released at 18 that they've got to make a decision. Are they going to offer them a first year pro deal? And I've sat in meetings when we've had to make those decisions, and it's very, very difficult. You're thinking he's close to it, but I could do with another 12 months. This gives that option. So that's why it's brilliant. And you know, we're keeping the under 18 midweek flooded league because the 15, 16, 17-year-olds can play in that. You know, last season I wanted to try and get quite a few 16s up into it and play in the games. The downside to trying to do that would mean that the boys that are in the 18s wouldn't get enough fair game time. And as you're paying for this program, as you were last year, then to me, you've got to give them that game time on for the boys that have shared it. So it's a difficult one from that, but by putting in the 2 leagues gives us that opportunity. Okay. The funding part of it and how I deem it, how it's going to work, okay? It's going to be self-funded. It's going to be like from, you know, the parents as in the subscription and players as you did last year in the program. Sorry, I'm trying to move my screen again. How will it operate? As obviously the club deemed it wasn't going to be financially viable. I believe it is, okay? I have a belief in knowing that what I do will work, okay? I know we're going to hit bumps along the way and it's going to be tough, but nothing in life is worth having that isn't easy. So trust me, we will make it work. If you looked at the academy last year, and without going into the greater detail of the finances, the only age group post that didn't make money was probably post 16s. And understandably, because you play on higher graded pitches at step 5 level, semi-pro pitches, you require food and 3 match officials. That in itself comes up to nearly £250 for every single home game, okay? And that's without coaches, etc. That said, to me, it's the most important age group. And I don't want to disrespect any other age group, but it's the most important age group because at that stage in their development, when they're doing their university and college, sixth form, etc., to me, it's massive. It's got to lead a fair bit of forward thinking. And in all honesty, it's a bit of a risk. But again, in life, if you don't take a risk, you're never going to achieve your dreams. You really are not. And that's just my opinion, but I think it really comes true. So how are we going to do it in terms of the monies? Well, players will pay a subscription as they did last season. So it'd be potentially £50 will be the subscription fee. And I know we got CV19 to cope with and the social distances, etc. But life will go on. And, you know, it seems hard to be talking about this when people are still dying, but life will go on. The difference from last season to this season, okay, last season you had 1 session and 1 game. This season you will have 2 sessions and a game, okay? And I will explain that a little bit later on. I'm willing to personally invest in this program. I've got a couple of coaches that are willing to invest in terms of their time, etc. as well. Because this first year will be tough, as it was last year, and we broke even last year, and I was hoping the college program then helps fund the following second season, and that's where we'll go with this. I've already had talks with college about doing that, and they're bang on board, and also where we're going with the club that we're going with, they're well into it as well. So that'll bring the cost down in year 2 for the players involved. I'm also looking at potential other sponsorship to bring in monies, and most importantly, the backing of a full-time professional club and its support and its resources, okay? So to run a team at step 5 level, at under 21 as well, costs between 12 and 14K. And I'm sure some of you would know all that, and we're going to try and put 2 teams at that level. So if anyone out there knows of anyone that's willing to sponsor or invest, then please ask them to get in touch. Because at the end of the day, every little bit is going to help to go towards what we want to get the end game, and it will go towards the program. Those that know me can trust me, and I guarantee you that. We will have a page on the Pro Club's website so that you can, any potential sponsors could also go onto that as well, which again is a massive part. Okay, the pathway and why I've come to this decision. I was fortunate enough to be in a conversation with 5 clubs, 3 of which were professional full-time clubs, Cat 3 and above. Oh, I'm back one. So I've just done that one. Go back one. Yeah, okay. Of Cat 3 and above. All were very respectful and interested in what we were doing. And I wasn't naive enough to think, look, they're going to gain out of it because they want our boys. I get that. But also I needed to base my decision on the best possible route for our boys. And I've always gone down the route. My mum once told me, choose your employer, not your employment job. And with that in mind, I couldn't be happier. The pathway will run very closely with the full-time scholarship model at the club. Okay. And any player showing any potential will be invited to train with and play with the professional scholars, and even, you know, maybe get offered something. Though I've seen it happen, and it does happen, especially at this club. Okay, and maybe even the first team. So when the 18s that are in full time with the scholars, you know, they train with the first team because the gaffer for the first team suddenly wants to do 11v11, or suddenly he's only got 10 fit players because they played on a Tuesday, they're in on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and he needs, and so they will get that. And those opportunities do come around, trust me. And also, in my conversations with the club, the ideas around the 21 has excited them because, like I said earlier about the 18s having to be released, it suddenly gives them that chance to be able to, well, actually, we could put them into this program so they're still in our system. So it works both ways. Okay, so the difference between the clubs and why this will work. Sorry, guys, I've got too many people on my screen, and that's why I'm doing it. So I'm going to put it down to just one if I can. That's better. It's just Matt. Okay, that's not that great. Anyway, so yes, I'm not going to disrespect any club in what I talk about now. So I'm not going to dish Hereford or Cheltenham or any of the clubs, and I'm not going to mention the 2 other pro clubs or the 2 other semi-pro clubs that were interested. All I'm going to talk about is what we're going to do. And I'm not going to disrespect any of that. I fully respect what they've done. They're a full-time professional club. They were founded in 1887, which is obviously just before I was born. They're EPPP Category 3 Academy status. For those that don't know, I touched on this last year when I came into Hereford. The EPPP is the Elite Player Performance Plan, which was brought in by the Premier League back in 2012. And Cheltenham got the Cat 3 Academy status, and I was part of that when I was working over there then, and it was tough, but it was great to have that, and obviously they've maintained that status. They've been a youth development scheme since 1999, and since 2000 to date, the Academy has produced 39 professional players for the football club. And on high authority, they've got another 2 coming in this season. That takes it to 41 in 20 years, and you can do the maths. That's over 2 a season. That's a phenomenal achievement. So just with all that in mind, I'm actually going to introduce now Antoine Thompson, who's the Academy Manager at Cheltenham. Antoine is in his 13th season at Cheltenham. Okay, he started as a community coach. He went on to a skills coach there. He went into lead phase, and then he became assistant Academy Manager behind the now assistant manager to the first team, Russ Milton. And now Antoine is Academy Manager. Antoine also plays semi-pro football still. You wouldn't believe it looking at him, but he does. He plays at Step 5, which is the same level we're at. He's got a Master's in Sports Development, plus he's got an A licence and also the Advanced Youth Award. So, Anton, I'd like to introduce you. Are you there, mate?
That's fine. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's well. I know I'm mute. I know. I've done it before. I end up speaking to myself. Well, thanks for the introduction, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to get involved in this programme. Like you said, I've been a Academy Manager for 4 years. So my roles changed over the years, but ultimately now it's about performance management and leading, the Academy to the next level. And for us, I think for you guys, what you want to know from CheltenhamTown, what is it and who are we really? And ultimately for us, it's about being champions for youth and champion for all the players in our programme and the staff, and just making sure that every player and every staff member deserves a champion in their life, and that we don't give up on each other. Very big on the family feel, okay? In terms of the connection, it's all about interaction. If people that know me, obviously can approach me any day, speak to me, whatever on the phone, no problems at all. And it filters for all the staff in the club. It's a family club and a well-run club at that as well. Ultimately, it's about us being the best that we can be. And as you'll see from here, you go after the 4 areas at the bottom there: professional, talent identification, education, sustainability. In terms of professional, we want to produce professional players. That's the number one remit. but also as well professional staff. And someone like Andy is the reason why I definitely want to get involved and help Andy in his program, his vision, because I feel he's somebody that creates a positive learning environment, and he's somebody I can trust to deliver a good program to you guys, definitely. In terms of the talent ID, again, this is where you guys come in, the players. Recruitment is what it's about. We want the best players and the best staff. Obviously, you're probably the best staff in Hereford that you've got there now involved in your program. Which is nice. And in terms of the players, it's for us. What we've got to do is provide opportunity. For those that are to that level, obviously the opportunity will be there. We've got development programs in terms of in Cheltenham as well. And the same thing, the boys come over and train and play with us. From a values perspective, as you can see, it's a wiser. We do live by this. So those boys that are in our program are well-mannered, obviously have a work ethic, like to problem solve, and most importantly, enjoy what they do. And so do the staff. In terms of a culture, big on SLR, safeguarding, learning, respect. Some will probably see it as safety, but we put safeguarding, the fact that I think in this day and age, we have to protect our children. It's a massive thing, and it's everybody's responsibility, from coaches to parents to players themselves, and we're really big on that. And I just wanted to highlight that for you guys. In terms of sort of communication, there's an anonymous sort of link for anybody involved in our academy system. Basically, click on the link. It's anonymous. You put any complaint, any issues, anything that's going on, it comes straight to myself. I can then sort of address it with my leadership team, and sort of look at any issues that might happen throughout the year. It's been used and it does work. So it's a constant. If the parents don't want to pick up the phone or email me direct, then they can use this anonymously and sort of get in contact. But yeah, all in all, a bit of a snapshot of who we are. But ultimately, what it's about is providing opportunity for you boys. As soon as I heard that Hereford had cancelled the program, I thought that's ridiculous. It's such a good area. So much talent in the area. It's a shame, but we're here to support, and if we can support, hopefully we can help you on your journey, and one day hopefully become a professional footballer.
Brilliant. Thank you, Antoine. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate spending time tonight to do it. So
worries.
Guys, with that just goes by highlighting it. Just to give you now a sort of game plan on what we're trying to do for next season. Okay, this is a bit how I'm looking at the training schedule and the games and links and how it's going to work. So for me, it's going to be one squad, 2 teams, 25 plus players is what we're looking at. I will be in charge of both 18s and the 21s teams. I'll have staff with me, obviously, but I will be overall charge of it. And in terms of actually, I think, a big thing that me and Antoine talked about was that actually I'm going to be doing a lot of the coaching and managing, which I think was a lot that obviously didn't do last year, with obviously trying to put out fires here and there, and also just doing a lot of admin, and that was a big thing that Anton talked about, that he wanted me actually get my boots back on the ground, sort of thing. So which is great, because that's what I'm absolutely passionate about. I know that I can deliver and want to do so much more with that. So the whole squad will train on one night a week, potentially a Monday night. Okay, the venue yet to be confirmed. Okay, obviously we had the issues with venues last year, and I'm sure we'll get a few issues this year. In terms of some obstacles might be put in front of us, but trust me, we'll get over them quite comfortably. And at the end of the day, guys, there's a pitch out here, so that's not an issue. So that which is great, gives us that other option as well. Then on the second night. So we've done the Monday night training. We go into so everyone's in on the Monday night. Then on the second night of the week, whether that be a Wednesday, Thursday night, whichever it'll be, the squad that will play in the Midland Floodlit League, that will leave potentially 10 players not involved. Okay, so we'll take the squad of 15 to the game. The other 10 players then, and I know there's Rob's in there, I think Toby's in as well tonight. He is. I spoke to him earlier, so I got my on about. So players like you who are 19 won't be in that under 18 squad. Now you'll have 2 options. Okay, the 2 options will be is that you can potentially either go and train with a local club, so a local semi-pro club that will speak with, that's local to you, so you haven't got to travel far, and you can train with when they train in the week. Okay, or if they've got a game, by all means have a game, or obviously Cheltenham trained at Hartbury, their 16s train over at Hartbury, or at Seasons, obviously their training ground, that maybe that's something that you can go over and do. If again, with your college program or university, you might be able to go in the day and train with the 18s over at Cheltenham in the day. That's something that we certainly possible. Okay. So, or the other scenario, so there's 3 now, okay, is that say there's 10 of you, we'll actually put on a session here. So for the whole 10 of you, we can do another training session here because you'll all be involved on the Saturday game. So you will definitely get the 2 sessions and a match, which unfortunately, as much as I tried to get it last year, we didn't get it. On the Saturday, very similar to the Thursday. So you'll have the under 21s. Okay, their match will kick off between 10:30 and 12:30. So for example, and this is why we looked at the 12:30 potential kickoff, is because the venue, again, to be confirmed, obviously got to be playing at that semi-pro ground. But if you're playing at a semi-pro ground, in Hereford at the moment, you've got Wellington Westfield's Pegasus predominantly, and their reserve teams obviously take their pitch on the Saturdays they don't. And I've spoke with these clubs, and you've got to respect that. So obviously they wouldn't want us playing on it in the morning. So potentially we would go over to Seasons Training Ground, which is the name of the training ground at Cheltenham, and play our under 21 matches there at say 12:30 after their 18s scholars have played in the morning. Or if they haven't got a game, then we could play at 10:30. Again, those not involved on that Saturday morning could be up to 10 players of you, okay? Those 10 players, now I'm looking at, so lads that are 16 this year coming in 17 next year, and I'll use my boy as an example, okay? So for Jake, probably wouldn't be involved in the under 21 squad. He would then have the opportunity to, two options. He can either go and play for a local men's team in Hereford, so the Herefordshire Prem, which is what I wanted to put the 18s in last year, just to get you playing up against men. So we'll link with the club, and we have got one strong link coming out. Okay, it's just telling me that we're going to run out of time. Get off the screen, out of my way. Yeah, that's out of my way. Okay, so we're going to link with a club, and then you could either play for their men's team, or that's one option. So you can play locally for a men's team, or we can train you. So that gives you an option as well. So again, like the Thursday, we could train you. We've got the pitch here. We've got the facilities. 10 of you here, we can still train you. Or another option that I've thought about probably in the last 3 or 4 days. When I was managing at Step 5, we were going for the title race, and we played Worcester City at home. And we were warming up, and all of a sudden Worcester came out and had to go past us to warm up, and suddenly their players come out, and I wasn't actually doing the warm up. I was just watching the warm up because I was managing, and I was counting their players, and I got to about 12, and they were still coming, and got to about 18, they were still coming. I'm thinking, hey. And suddenly there was about 24 of them. And speaking to them afterwards, I wasn't the only one that stared at them. All our players did. So it gave that kind of that aura, you know, of the togetherness of a whole club. So if our, say, Jake 17s and etc. say, well, actually, this Saturday, can we go with the 21s? We could probably get you involved in the warm-up, etc. You can then watch the 21s game, and we can give you little tasks with one of the coaches of what we want you to do on a player in your position, because potentially, you know, some of those 17s are going to be called up to the 21s and get that opportunity. And there's a couple of other little things that I want to try as well, and that's the great thing of having the 2 teams. And, you know, obviously with this lockdown, I've done immense webinars till I'm sick of them, but I've learned a massive amount. And you know, there's little things that I want to put into this, which are great. We'll have 2 coaches and a physio on match days for all teams. And this is something, again, having a pro club like Cheltenham support, and this is something that Antoine was big on, that, you know, obviously the budget that I put across, you know, didn't cater for a physio because, like Hereford last season, we struggled to afford it. But obviously, you know, at this level, you know, Cat 3, EFL, League 2, maybe League 1, Antoine, maybe, with the playoffs coming up. So they've got to have a physios. And all players will have free tickets to all first team league games. And I think that's massively important as well, which is great at the club. But where it's important is, and we did it last year, some of the lads that were in the match day squad but didn't make the bench, 18. So I know Toby did it. I know Archie did it. I don't think Rob did it because he's lazy like that with his iPad. Sat behind me in the director's box, and I gave them a player to do stats on in their position, and then we talked about it as well. So it was great little options. Guys, I'm conscious of the time. There's 7 minutes left, so we're probably not going to get any questions in, so we will do that webinar, but I'll just come on to just 2 more little things, okay? The kit packs. Obviously, you know, going to a new club, and I know this isn't great for parents. You're looking at this and thinking, oh my God, it's another 150 quid. Trust me, I'm in the same position as you guys, and I'm thinking exactly the same. And unfortunately, he is growing into bigger sizes as well. But seriously, there's the kit pack options. And what I will say is, at Hereford, you were going to be changing kits this year. This hasn't come out yet. They've gone from Macron to Adidas, so you were going to be changing kits anyway. No one knows that yet, but that was going to be an option. Obviously, won't be so much now because of the no academy. So those are the kit options. Great kit. Does the same sort of scenario that we did at Hereford. You order direct by the website, okay? That's it. So 6 minutes, 40 seconds left. So again, I'll leave that on screen. guys, if you want to take a picture of any of these while they're on screen, of the email address, if you want to contact me or WhatsApp me or ring me, whichever. If you get my voicemail, leave me a message and I will get back to you. I will just go back now to Matt. Are you still there, Matt?
Yeah, still yeah.
Any questions in the Q&A or anything, mate, as yet?
No one's messaged anything in our group chat yet, but
Wow.
feel free to do so no matter what question it is, please.
Absolutely. Well, we've got 6 minutes now, guys. So what we can do in that time, if you anybody want to put their hand up, and Matt will unmute you, and we can answer any questions that you may have. Likewise, what we will do is afterwards. Can I stop sharing that now? Can I? And then I can I've got you all on screen now. So what we will do is, guys, we will cut this out. We'll let it run out because sometimes it extends, as you all know, and we will link it back up. And listen, if you don't want to come back on and ask the question, like I said, feel free to ask any questions. No question's a stupid one. You don't know what you don't know. It's as simple as that, guys. So please feel free. Any questions at all?
Everyone's happy.
Everyone's happy. BA.
Yeah.
They can't be. My wife's on there, you said.
That Mark, no, Dad, nothing.
Just a little bit more about the Midland Floodlit League, guys. I mean, day of the week, times, locations, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. Evening, Rob. Are you all right?
Not so bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, okay, the Midland Floodlit League, guys. How that will work. So we'll host our home games. And it's going to be a floodlit ground in Hereford, okay, which we're hoping to secure that. Obviously, last year we had Wellington. I've been speaking with them already. They are in talks about potentially running an 18s themselves. That said, they said, please don't dismiss us as an opportunity anyway. So we are in talks with one club that are a fair way down the road. I would say 65-70% down the road. So that's quite positive. I won't say who they are yet because there are still a couple of other options, and I think that's unfair on them. So yeah, we will play our home games probably on the Thursday night. So as we can because that way we get everyone training then on a Monday night, the whole squad together. Whereas last season we played our home games on a Monday night and we played away on a Thursday. That was due to the pitch availability will come into that as well. And that may well change. But yeah, potentially the home games on the Midland Floodlit will be on a Thursday night. Any other questions, guys? Some in the chat, Matt, is there?
Just Levin asking about the younger age groups.
Okay, yeah, I'll do a webinar on them, Levon, in about a week to 10 days time. So I'll touch on all that there, if that's okay, mate. Well, if there's no more questions, guys, then obviously, we don't really need to hook back up for another webinar. I'm sure you've all got better things to do than listen to me. Although my wife hasn't, has she? She's got to put up me when I go back through there. But like I said, my email's on there, guys, my WhatsApp. Give me a shout. I'm sure you all will do. And listen, don't think any question's a stupid question, okay? What we're going to do is I've spoke with the leagues. That's almost done and dusted, so we should be in the 18s and the 21s. If you want to go and look at the 21 leagues, the under 21 league is the Midland. So if you type in Midland under 21 league, it'll come up and you'll see all the teams on there. There's some good teams. There's some good teams in there that
Midland West.
Say again.
Midland West, isn't it?
Midland West, yes. There's an under 21 East and an under 21 West. And most of the teams in there, I've played their first teams at Step 5 when I was Westford's manager. So there's some good competition, trust me.
And you're travelling no further than you have this done, guys. So
no, that's right. No, absolutely. The travelling distance for both teams is Midland areas. You'll see when you go in and look at the teams, guys. Anything you wanted to add, Antoine, to finish, or you're happy?
No, just obviously thanks for the time, and hopefully you guys do join the programme and exciting times ahead.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Antoine, it's James here. I can't believe you're...
Oh, you cut out there, James. Sorry. You cut out. Say it again.
No,
I said, Antoine, I can't believe it's James here. I can't believe you're still playing, mate.
Got a sweet left foot, haven't I?
James, he turns out.
Looking fit. Anyway, you're looking fit.
Cheers, mate. Good to see you.
Okay, guys. Well, what we'll do is then we will end it now. Then, and if any questions you want to get in touch with me, feel free to do so. And hope you've enjoyed it. And any feedback is always positive feedback in mine. Whether you say that I was an empty, I'm quite happy with that. You won't be the first or the last one. But thanks for your time tonight, guys, and hopefully keep you all soon. Okay, take care. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers, Andy.
Guys, thank you.
You can stop recording, and
Good lad, yeah. It's gone from my screen. Can you stop?